Well, we're joined by Cosatu Western Cape Secretary Malvern Malvern. Good evening to you. Firstly, I think let's begin with just getting your reflections on what has happened over the last couple of days. It's been absolutely dreadful for the commuters that have been caught up in the middle of the standoff between the taxi drivers and, of course, the officials, the powers that be in the city of Cape Town and in the Western Cape.
Thanks, Kathy, and thank you. Good afternoon to your viewers and listeners. Yes, Cosatu, we've noted with concern what happened over the last couple of days. And we are really worried as workers because ultimately the workers are the ones who are now suffering because of the city's arrogance to deal with this particular issue. I think this issue has been on the table for some time, but there's no resolution. And Cosatu, we want the parties to come to the table and find common ground to resolve the impasse, because we can't keep quiet while our workers are now being subjected to disciplinary action. Some of them are subjected to losses in terms of their wages. And we think the city is not doing enough to rescue the situation. For them, it's about tit for tat and not the real issues on the table. We want the city to please tell us how will they resolve this particular issue.
When you talk about your members that are facing disciplinary action, which are those members and for what are they being disciplined?
Because there is employers that are now threatening workers to rather take annual leave, and you must find a way to come to work, otherwise you will deal with you. But workers are too afraid to come to the front to tell us who are these employers. They just send you anonymous messages complaining that Cosatu should deal with this matter. And it is common cause that the city and even the province are not really worried about the workers on the ground and the people of this province and city.
As things stand, do you have a sense of what workers can expect going into tomorrow? Of course, there have been different iterations over the weekend, but, many will be worried about beginning a brand new working week and the extent to which their transportation may or may not be guaranteed.
Yeah, we are worried because we received a couple of phone calls and messages over this weekend what's going to happen on Monday. And there's no guarantee that there will be taxis tomorrow on the road. We received communication that the strike continues, so workers will once again lose money. And we once again say the city should rein in J.P. Smith, because J.P. Smith is a loose cannon. And we are calling on the city and the province to suspend J.P. Smith, because he's to blame for most of the carnage that's currently happening. J.P. is not helping the problem. He's making reckless statements day after day. And the leadership of the DA and even the mayor is quiet about the conduct of J.P. Smith. So that we will make the call tomorrow once again that they should remove J.P. Smith and suspend him and allow the other parties and even the premier to take over these negotiations.
The reality is that the industry itself, Malvern, is not exempt from scrutiny in this instance. We have many motorists who had tried to come in to rescue the situation that were intimidated by people who claimed to be acting on behalf of the industry. So what makes it difficult is that the very same employers which you accuse of not being understanding to the plight of employees, if they were to try and arrange transport, they simply wouldn't be able to get around because the industry is not allowing for anybody other than themselves to transport members of the public.
Yeah, I missed your first part, but I can only respond to the second part. Yeah, you're correct that at this stage it will be a risk for anyone to use public transport to go to work. Even if employers want to arrange taxi, it will be a risk, and we can't allow that a member to be put at risk if they're going to allow this provide transport. But what we are saying to the employers is to refrain from taking action against any employee, to refrain from forcing workers to take annual leave, because ultimately they are not to blame for this problem that we are confronted with.
All right, we'll leave it there for tonight. Malvern Bruyn, he's the Provincial Secretary of Cosatu in the Western Cape. As you heard, they're ending off with an appeal to employees to be quite understanding of the situation that thousands of workers in Cape Town find themselves in, at least over the last couple of days.